What if the most old-school new muscle car doesn't have a V8? Meet the 2026 Dodge Charger Scat Pack. 550 horsepower, all-wheel drive, and a straight six called SIXPACK that's here to poke the bear and the purists. Dodge has finally detailed the gas-powered Charger twins, both built around the 3.0-liter twin-turbo Hurricane inline-six, rebranded as SIXPACK for this car. Two flavors: the RT with 420 horsepower and 468 pound-feet, and the Scat Pack with 550 horsepower and 531 pound-feet. Translation: the RT tops its muscle car rivals for standard output, while the Scat Pack is the most horsepower under $55,000, with a $54,995 starting price before destination. If that sounds like a pricing shot across the bow, it is. Dodge is claiming 0 to 60 miles per hour in 3.9 seconds and a 12.2-second quarter mile for the Scat Pack, with a 177 mile per hour top speed. The RT will run to 168 miles per hour. Dodge hasn't posted a 0 to 60 yet, but given the hardware, expect quick enough to annoy a neighbor levels. Both pair with an 8-speed automatic, as expected in this class. Every SIXPACK Charger is all-wheel drive by default, but there's a twist. A wet multi-disc clutch opens on command to deliver rear drive only, and yes, the car will let drivers do proper burnouts with line lock and even send 100% of torque rearward in a dedicated AWD mode for drifts and donuts. Think of it as a muscle car that behaves like an Audi on snow, a Mustang at a car meet, and a dragster off the line, depending on which button gets pressed. Under the hood, the high-output SIXPACK is more than a badge job. The engine packs forged internals, a deep-skirt aluminum block, high-pressure direct injection, and twin 54mm Garrett GT 2054 turbos pushing up to 30 psi. Dodge says 88% of peak torque is on tap at 2,500 RPM and more than 90% from 3,000 to 6,000 RPM, so mid-range punch should be the car's party trick. Top end? Peak power arrives at 6,200 RPM with a 6,200 RPM redline. Not a screamer, but plenty for a turbo straight six. Standard AWD, mechanical limited slip rear diff, Brembo's 6-piston fronts with 380mm rotors, and a reworked suspension promising quicker responses and far less understeer than the last Charger. Launch control is configurable, with the system holding brake pressure while the turbos build boost. Drag strip nerds, your staging tree dreams are noted. Design-wise, the gas cars announce themselves with a unique performance hood, a larger front fascia opening than the EV Daytona, big rolled exhaust tips, and debossed Charger script at the rear. Widebody stance is standard, and Dodge claims it's the widest body of any car in the industry, which is either awesome or a parking garage anxiety test. Inside, it's modern Dodge, up to a 16-inch cluster, 12.3-inch center screen with Uconnect 5, performance pages, and optional augmented head-up display. The cabin borrows cues from the 68 Charger without going cosplay, and yes, there's the moody attitude adjustment lighting with animations tied to drive modes. Gimmick? Maybe. Fun? Also yes. Let's talk pricing and timing. The RT starts at $49,995. The Scat Pack at $54,995, both before a $1,995 destination fee, with 4-door versions adding $2,000. Orders for the Scat Pack open August 13th, with deliveries beginning before year-end. The RT follows in early 2026 depending on body style. If electric is more the vibe, the 2-door Daytona Scat Pack is $59,995 with 670 horsepower, but capped at a lower 137 miles per hour top speed. Where does this leave the Charger in 2026? Squarely in its own lane. The V8 is gone, but the sheet numbers say this inline-six is faster to 60 than the old Scat Pack, and more usable year-round thanks to AWD. The exhaust note won't be a Hemi thunderclap, and purists will grumble about the driven front axle. But the flexibility, RWD mode for fun, AWD for grip, might be the smartest compromise Dodge has made in years. Also, a muscle car that can legitimately daily in rain and snow is not exactly a tragedy. Critiques? A few. At roughly mid-50Ks plus destination, the Scat Pack's value hinges on whether the AWD weight penalty blunts the handling feel. Dodge quotes improved response, but will need seat time to see if it turns in like it talks. Also, the 6,200 RPM ceiling and turbo whoosh don't deliver the same high-rev theater as a naturally aspirated V8, and that's a real emotional shift for the badge. Finally, AWD only as standard could limit aftermarket drag strip purism, though the line lock and RWD mode certainly try to bridge that gap. Dodge hasn't replaced the Hemi vibe, it's swapped it for numbers and versatility, the kind that wins stoplight sprints, survives winters, and still does a smoky burnout on Saturdays. That's not sacrilege, that's evolution. What do you think? Smart reboot or muscle mission drift? Leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe.